So my suggestion to anybody is...
So the big question is, what are top agents doing to absolutely crush it in real estate? To get the answers, we interview the top real estate agents to learn their secrets to success. If you would like one-on-one access to over 26 of the top agents in the country to help you scale your business, then head over to eliteagentsecrets.com/partner, or you can just click the link in the description below.
My name is Andrew Dunn.
And my name is Peter Michael. Welcome to Elite Agent Secrets.
So one of the things that you've been talking about kind of throughout this show, and especially in the hiring side of things, and it's like, hey, a month, $3,000, a month, $3,000. And it's also, you mentioned you had a coach, right? Is your third and final topic, which is investing in yourself and in the future. So this is something we're big advocates for. Like, we coach agents, we've been coached, we still get coached on different topics. We think this is just a way to fast track the process to essentially winning. And ultimately, paying for a coach, I think, means you're committed to the profession, right? So unpack why your third and final secret to success is investing in yourself and the future.
Yeah, I think, for me, the way that I looked at it was wherever I want to go in my business, wherever I want to be in my business in 5 years, I can most likely get there on my own, or I can pay a high-level coach to get me there in half the amount of time. And so that's what, to me, investing in a coach shortcuts everything. Like, my business coach, Bill Middleton, is coaching agents all over the country. And so I'm asking him questions about, what other agents are finding success with, what type of marketing is really working for them. I found HomeBot because it was working really well for a couple other agents that he was coaching. So he passed that along to me. And so it's a sharing of ideas too. And what's been really effective for people. What are people seeing in the market? Are they seeing the same thing in Minnesota in their market that I'm seeing in South Carolina in my market? And so that's been the biggest piece for me. And I think it starts with this. I would start, if I'm a brand new agent or if I'm in my first couple of years, I think it starts with this. And this sounds so simple, but you have to have separate business accounts and personal accounts. When you get paid, when you get a commission check, it needs to go into your business. And I would suggest that you take 50%, move that to your personal account, live on the 50%, because you got to leave 50% in your business, because that allows you to make good business decisions. That allows you, when it comes time to hire a coach, when it comes time to attend, I've gotten where I am today because of two things. Number one, because of great coaching. Number two, because of amazing events. So, I'm with Keller Williams, so I go to a lot of the Keller Williams events. Their big family reunion event that they have every year, mega camp that they have every year in Austin. Those events, showing up, sitting on the front row, being a sponge, taking notes as fast as I can take them. When I'm taking a class from somebody who sold 1,200 homes last year, I'm on the front row and I'm taking notes as fast as I can. And then on my way home, on my flight home from the event, I'm looking over all my notes and I'm figuring out what are 3 things that I can implement in my business. Not 12, not 20. You go to an amazing event, you get excited, you come back with 25 ideas you want to implement, and then you usually end up implementing none of them. Maybe one if you're lucky, right? So my suggestion to anybody is be willing to invest in yourself. Coaching could start with, at your office, there's a productivity coach that helps agents get to 5 million in sales, or whatever the level is, depending on your average sales price, right? And so that could be your first coach. It could be somebody in your office that their job is to help agents get to a certain production level. And then when you reach that production level, then you go to a higher level of coaching. But I just feel like, number one, it shortcuts your business. It shortcuts how fast you can get your business to the level of where you want it. And the second piece is it's an accountability piece. And a lot of us shy away from accountability. We don't like it. We don't like other people telling us what to do. But here's the thing. I know that I have my call with my coach every Thursday at 3:30. I have a summary of what we talked about the week before. And I don't care if it's Thursday at 2:30. I'm looking over that summary report to see what did I promise that I would do over the last week that I haven't done yet, because I have an hour to get it done, because I'm not going to get on this call with him and tell him that I didn't put any effort into what we talked about the week before. So it's built-in accountability. Here's what we talked about last week. Let's go over what were you able to accomplish over the last 7 days since we last spoke. And just knowing that phone call is coming every Thursday, it gets me into action. It forces me to go be productive. And so I just think between even starting small with coaching and then eventually going to an elite level coach. I mean, I can tell you, my coaching is $1,000 a month. I've found that that's pretty standard in our industry. There's probably, I don't know that may pay more, but $1,000 a month to me is pretty standard for a high level coach in our industry. And I've never looked at that as an expense. I looked at that as an investment in myself and in my business. And I just knew that when I got with my coach, my business grew over 60% in a 2-year period. And so it has always paid for itself.
I was just going to say, how much would you have not grown if you hadn't had the coach? I would have been doing 20 deals a year still, probably. I might have been up to 30, but now I do over, say, 60. And it's well, if it's $1,000 a month, that's the cheapest investment you've ever made. 12 grand a year to over double your company, which is what you just said, 60%. It's that's incredible.
Hey, I just wanted to jump in here and let you know, if you would like access to over 26 of the top agents in the country to help you scale your business, then head over to eliteagentsecrets.com/partner, or you can just click the link in the description below. Now back to the show.
Yeah. And my coach, anyone that comes on board my team, before they come on board my team, they interview with him. And then he gives me his feedback on, does he think they're the right fit for me? Here's some things that I think you're going to need to help them with. Here's some areas that they're going to need to grow with you and how you're going to need to bring them along on your team. And so it's just a great sounding board as well. I would never think about hiring someone without having him interview them first. And so it's, once again, that goes back to leverage though. That's a leverage piece for me as well. And so, but I also just can't recommend enough attending high level events. Even, I will just tell you, even the conversations that I'm able to have at those events. I don't know if you're familiar with a guy named Ben Kinney that's out in Bellingham, Washington, but how often am I going to be able to get in front of a Ben Kinney, when I'm in South Carolina? But at those events and at dinner at night, and when we're having a drink at the hotel at 10 o'clock at night, I'm able to have those conversations with him. And some of those, dinners at high level events, when you're with people that are all ahead of where you are in your business, I mean, when else are you going to have their time for 2 hours where you can just sit there and go, now tell me again how you do your marketing and tell me the event that you just put on. Now tell me about that event. Yeah.
And it's the area you're in, in discussion, people are far more open. I mean, it's the whole adage of you're the sixth person. You're there's 5 people you hang around with, you're the sixth, right? So if you want to have success in any area of your life, it's surround yourself with the people who are where you want to be. And, if you're at nothing, surrounding yourself with billionaires in a weird way actually doesn't necessarily benefit you because they've gone through so many stages. But if you're at 20 deals, surround yourself with people doing 50, 60 deals because there's a difference between that. And then if you're doing 50, 60, put yourself in the room with someone who's doing 100, 150, 200, 300. And it's they're doing stuff a little bit different as well. Now, Brad, I want to give you the floor. before we wrap up here. So if you've got anything else going on, whether buying or selling homes, whether you've got something else going on in your neck of the woods you want to let people know about, how could people reach out and get in touch with you? Whether that is phone, email, website, social media, let the people know where you're at.
Yeah. So my team is the Spink Group, and Spink is just SPINK. So my email is thespinkgroup@gmail.com. Pretty simple. thespinkgroup@gmail.com. Happy to give out my phone number, 864-580-9919. So it's 864-580-9919. That's my business cell phone. And so, you can find me on Facebook. And that's really, we have a Facebook business page. I have a Facebook personal page. We have an Instagram page. I'm not on that a lot. So, if you're going to connect with me on social media, Facebook's probably the best way to do it. But, I guess if I can leave you guys with anything, like the goal of my business, and everyone has different goals, but based on me, who I am, my family dynamic, my goal was, how do I build the biggest business I can build and still have a life outside of it? And I don't want this business to dominate my life. I have systems in place and leverage in place that has allowed me to, sell 50 plus homes a year, be in the top 2% of the industry while working 40 hours a week, very rarely working on a weekend, being able to coach multiple soccer teams, being at the gymnastics meets. And so I never wanted my children to grow up and say, Dad always chose work over me. For the most part, my kids don't really know what I do. They see the swag and they come to the events, so they kind of know that Dad sells homes and helps people sell homes. But that's about as much as they know. And that's really all I need them to know. Because when I get home, I just want to be Dad. And I just want to hang out with them and do stuff with them and play with them. So the thing is, you can build a great business. It doesn't have to dominate your life. You can have a life outside of this business.
Absolutely. So I want to give you, funnily enough, you kind of answered it, but I've got 3 quick fire questions for you before we wrap up.
Okay.
So first one, straight off the top of your head, favorite book or person you're learning from right now?
Good to Great by Jim Collins. I always go back to that.
Nice.
I think that's a great book. And you learn a lot about business in that book.
Yeah. Fantastic book.
Yeah.
Great. Second one, what's your goal in the next 12 months, your real estate goal in the next 12 months?
Yeah, my real estate goal in the next 12 months is, this year, my personal goal is 65 units. And then now I also enjoy, we wrote and talk about it here on the podcast, but investment stuff as well. So I do some investment stuff as well. We do some flips, which is a lot of fun. And so my goal on that side is 100,000 in income from the flips as well that we do.
Nice. Awesome. Love it. Yeah. The third and final one is, what's the biggest obstacle you think is going to stop you achieving your goal?
Oh, I mean, for sure, it's me. It's me getting in my own way.
Love it.
It's me allowing my own sometimes limiting beliefs in my head of what's possible and of what we can do. So yeah, I mean, the only obstacle in the way of my business most of the time is me.
Love it. Brad, thank you for coming on the show. Everyone, we hope you've enjoyed listening to this episode, and we will see you in the next one.
Thanks for listening to this episode. If you would like one-on-one access to over 26 of the top agents in the country to help you scale your business, then head over to eliteagentsecrets.com/partner, or you can just click the link in the description below.